You know, when they are saying we're starting from scratch, it means today in the morning we're dealing with that. That starting from scratch, it means we starting from e-adverts, from advertising the vacancies again, inviting interested candidates or people who wants to apply, or organization to nominate the people that they feel strong that they should be considered to be part of, to serve in the board of NYDA. So that tells you, for those of us who've been here dealing with this process, it's not just an easy task. Some people, when they're looking at this process from outside, they think it's easy. It's not. It takes long because there's a lot that needs to be done. But I think this time, honorable members, because if you heard the speaker in that meeting last time, she delegated the House chairpersons to work with us so that we must fast track the process and finalize this process as quick as possible. I'm hoping that our staff members and us chairperson, we are going to work very closely with the offices of our House chairpersons, and together with the Speaker's office and the House chairperson of the chairperson of the NCOP, Ubaba Masondo, so that all of us we make sure and ensure that there are no more complaints like there were complaints before. So we know, but the other delay that may crop up is the issue of screening. You know, honorable members and our staff members, that that was another challenge that we experienced last time, whereby SSA, when they were supposed to have screened all the candidates that we have shortlisted, it took long, up until some of them we ended up not receiving their report on whether they are fit for purpose or they don't have criminal records and so on. So, but now, because we are going to work together with the office of the House chairperson, the Speaker's office, and the chairperson's office, I think they are going to assist us in ensuring that all those things are done as soon as possible. Even Human Resource Department, I think this time, honorable members, the Speaker will make sure that they, and the House chairperson, they'll make sure that the Acting Secretary of Parliament must make sure that the Human Resource Department does verify qualifications of all those candidates that would have shortlisted by that time. So I think those are the main three critical issues that needs us, honorable members, would see. It must be taken into consideration by both houses, and so that we must finish our work as soon as possible, because it causes a delay, and even ourselves end up fighting and not knowing whether we must continue or we must wait until we receive the report. But with those few remarks, honorable members, let me hand over to the chairperson.
Thank you, Chairperson. The next item, Chairperson, on the agenda is the consideration and the adoption of the committee program to fill on the filling of vacancies in the National Youth Development Agency. Can I ask one of the ladies to take us through the program? Marcel, do you have the program?
Yes, thank you very much. Neliswa, can you please take us through the program, please? Marcel, can you just move down? A little bit down, Marcel.
Down.
Yes, there you are. There you are. That's okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Nomvula. Thank you to chairpersons and the members. The program is as follows. Today we are considering the program as indicated by the chairperson. And then from the 15th to the 27th of February, we will be preparing all the adverts, translations, and sourcing of codes and obtaining approvals. Thereafter, from the 28th of March until 19th of March, which is a 3-week period, we'll advertise in print media that is calling for nomination, also for filling of vacancies in the NYDA. Thereafter, for 8 days, that is from 22nd to 31st March, we'll be uploading those CVs to parliamentary website for public comment or civil society comment. And then it will be an Easter weekend. After the Easter weekend, for another 3 weeks, when we come back on the 6th of April to 24th, we will be summarizing all those CVs. And then during the second term, that will take us to the second term of parliamentary program. On the 4th of May, the Tuesday from 9 until 5, it will be a consideration for criteria for shortlisting. If members agreed, it will be a closed meeting. And then on Friday, also which is the 7th of May, shortlisting of candidates. And then from the 10th for 2 weeks, we continue with the state security processes and the HR processes. And then on 11th of May, it will be discussions on interview questions, structure and selection process. And also in the scorecards, if members agree, it will be a closed meeting. 18th to 20th of May for 3 days, possibly interviews, also depending on the number of candidates as selected by the members of the committee. On the 25th of May, it will be deliberations. And then the last meeting, 28th of May, it will be consideration and adoption of the draft report on filling of vacancies in the NYDA by both the PC on Women, Youth and Persons with Disabilities and Select Committee on Health and Social Services. Thereafter, it's constituency for the NCOP and then NA constituency. Thank you, members.
Thank you very much. Members, you've got the proposed program in front of you. Is there any questions? If not, can we move for a mover and a shaker of the adoption of the program?
The chairperson?
Yes. Yes, member.
Maybe before we adopt the program, I have a question on the advert itself.
Okay,
I didn't see,
you can continue.
Yeah, I didn't see where we are going to discuss the advert, because I think maybe we need to be very much careful with the advert so that we highlight the age restriction according to the Act, according to the Constitution, so that we don't have this thing of people complaining that we have been unfair to them when we come to the shortlisting and interview. I'm not sure whether before we adopt the program, can we discuss the advert first, or maybe we are still going to have a time where we are going to discuss the advert. I'm not sure. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Thank you, Member Maluleke. Chairperson, can you advise, can we adopt and then discuss the advert?
No, and I think there's an omission. We need to discuss. We need to convene another meeting where we're going to discuss the advert. And the advert, it will be in line with the Constitution and the NYDA Act.
Okay, thank you. So
All
we can.
the principles that are applicable, all the principles that are applicable to the NYDA Act and the Constitution, those are the that will be discussed in that meeting, which will be the criteria that we're going to use. There's no other criteria. So we need to schedule another day where we're going to discuss the advert, because as it stands now, I don't see it. Maybe it was just an omission. I don't see it. And I think the way this program is drafted is according to, remember, we need to follow all due processes. There is no shortcut. We are going to follow all the parliamentary processes according to the rules of parliament. So everything else that we're going to be doing, it must be in line with the rules of parliament. And so Nomvula, may you please look at the program and see how do we fit that in. But also the reason that we propose this day also that we must sit today is that as we move forward, when we draft our portfolio committee meetings, we must also look at the program. Both the NA portfolio committee and the select committee, we must look at the this program. And so honorable members, our secretaries, and I think they must ensure that our meetings don't clash. But I take it that when they were busy drafting, they were looking at the dates also. But where there's NSOP, there's an activity. I think, Marcel, you are in a better position to advise, so that we must not find ourselves cancelling or postponing meetings forever and ever. But I think for now, this is what we have. And if members are comfortable with that amendment of a date that will be put into the agenda, where we are going to deal with the, I'm sure we can deal with the advert on that date, young 15 to the 27, or that date, young 20 something. I'm sure we can put it there, whereby we are going to discuss the criteria and the advert, and then we must take it from there. I'm suggesting those 2 dates, the 15 to the 27, between the 15 and the 27 February, and the one of the 28th. So, Ms. Jiba, I think they and the secretaries must find one day where we are going to fit in the issue of the advert.
Okay. Can I say something, Chair?
Yes.
Yes, thank you, Chairperson. You are right. So between the 15th and the 27th of February, we are going to identify a date where this committee will be discussing the advert itself, so that the date of the 28th remains as it is. So just one date after the 15th to the 27th column, we are going to put another date there just for the discussion on the advert before that advert goes out in the print media. So that is okay, Chairperson. Then the next point, Chairperson, I just wanted to find out, just maybe to minimize the number of closed meetings, which was also one of the bones of contentions with these concerns that were raised by members of the public. I was just thinking whether that program of from the 6th of April to 24th April, what is it? When is the next, where the first closed meeting is due for the selection criteria or shortlisting criteria? And also we have another closed meeting on discussion of interview questions and structure. Is it possible that that meeting discusses everything else in relation to the candidates, everything else, so that we do not have many closed meetings as we were? If there is a possibility, Chairperson, but if you agree with the program as it is, where we have a closed meeting first for the shortlisting and then another shortlisting meeting for a discussion on interview question, it's all up to you. Otherwise, we can combine all such matters in one meeting, so that in all our lives we only have one closed meeting. That is just a proposal, Chairperson, that I'm having. But if you are okay with it, then to me it's okay.
Okay, no, I think you're right. We can do that. But also the other dates that I feel strong that we can, you see, that week of 06 April to the 24th of April, 3 weeks is a summary of CVs. Can we try and make it 2 weeks?
We can put any time there, Chairperson, for as long as we are sure of the number of CVs that we'll be receiving. Remember, the last time we received close to about 750 odd CVs, and we are talking about a certain number of resources that we are having. We can put 2 weeks, but it will depend on the number of CVs that we have received, Chairperson, and we wouldn't want to rush everything else, because on those summaries, the summaries should actually reflect exactly what is in the CV, but in a summarized form. So we are actually making it easier for the members to know about a specific candidate. So that is not something that needs to be done at a rush, because even the 3 weeks, I think, looking at our previous submissions of 750, we might get more this time around, looking at the interest that people have on NYDA. So for now, Chair, I suggest that we leave it at that. Depend if the number of CVs is less than the 750 that we have received, then we could look at the possibility of reducing those weeks into 2, Chair, if I may propose that.
Yeah, but Nomvula, can we try and finish up everything? Go down. Who's controlling the report?
Marcel,
can we try and finalize everything in end of May?
That is what the program says. This program suggests that the last meeting on NYDA will be on the 28th of May. Can you see that?
To be presented in the House.
Yeah, consider no adoption of the not the House, but adoption of the committee program will be done by 28th of May. So it means the House will adopt the program after constituency, because immediately after that, the week thereafter will be constituency. So what you mean? You mean maybe by the House?
Yeah, by somewhere here in May. You see this date, 28 May.
Yeah. Yes.
We can push what. But I
Everything.
see the constituency. Before constituency,
yes,
we must adopt, the House must adopt the report.
Okay, Chair, I hear you now.
Yeah.
I understand
let's adjust the program.
Yes.
That before constituency.
Yes.
7 June to 16 August. Yeah, before this.
Okay, Chair. So this will mean then, Chairperson, the committee will have to consider the proposal that there will be one closed meeting where all matters related to criteria and shortlisting will be dealt with, so that is one meeting, not separate meetings. Then secondly, we try to push the time so as to allow the houses to adopt the report before the June constituency. Then we will prepare that report and present it in that meeting of 15 to 27 again, Chair. Or maybe we will circulate it, Chair, or what must we do? Circulate the draft proposal again, or what, or discuss it in the meeting of 15 to 27 February.
Yeah. So discussing it. Yeah. You know what I'm thinking, honorable members. What I'm thinking is that we must adjust our program with 1 week. Let's adjust the program with 1 week, or by 1 week. Yeah. Let's adjust the program like that. Before second term.
Go up, Marcel.
Okay. I can see much uploading of CVs. It's 2 weeks on it.
Yes, Chair.
And then after that?
It's the Easter weekend, and then the CVs.
Okay. We should be done by with interviews, and the House should adopt the report by that time. At least by June, those candidates that will recommend and be adopted by the House by June, that list should be with the President to appoint for the appointments, and then by July, NYDA must be having a board. If it happens that the President signs early, that means they will have a board by June, looking at the program.
Okay, Chairperson. So it means there are a lot of changes then that we need to make a lot of adjustments to align it with your proposal, Chairperson.
Okay.
So it means we will not adopt a program today, but we will rather resolve.
Work on it. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I see there are hands. I see Honorable Elek Nchabeling, Honorable Mkweba, Honorable Baha, Honorable Maluleke. Who else? I see these 1, 2, 3, 4. I see 4 hands.
Naam, Chair.
Oh, no, Mam Sonti. Nomvula, if you say your hand, please.
Mpiti, Chair.
Okay, Honorable Mpiti. Let's have Honorable Nchabeling, Honorable Mkweba, Honorable Baha, Honorable Maluleke, Honorable Mamsonti, Honorable Mpiti.
Thanks, Chairperson. Most of I raised my hand earlier, so as a result, some of the things that I wanted to comment about already they were clarified even before I could ask them.
Okay.
I'm just saying that now, since that this thing is new and we belong to lots of other committees like this one, the Section 100 in the Northwest, so we need to also later, one will be able to apply their mind and make comments, particularly about the times and the and yeah. The other thing, the main thing is, I think our code of engagement, rules of engagement.
Yeah.
We need to work that out. So, you know, things that are taken as simple things in meetings, that if you are not in a meeting today, you cannot rehash the meeting the following week when you come back to rejoin us. So we need to agree about those things, that if you miss a meeting, you cannot restart that meeting again the following week when you come.
Yeah.
And that is generally discipline and procedure in all meetings. So I don't know. I'm not an expert in chairing meetings, but yeah. And I think as time goes, we will apply our minds and make comments, particularly, or maybe even try to get alternates to come in when we have other burning issues that cannot be put aside. So yeah, that's all from me, Chairperson, for now. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
But the discipline in meetings really is very important.
Thank you very much. I agree with you 100%. Honorable Mkweba, Babun Chabeleng Kupa,
thank you very much, Honorable Chair.
Mkweba. Oh, thank you. Yeah, Honorable Mkweba.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair, and thank you, Chair, and good afternoon, honorable members and our support staff. I think, Chair, you have covered me on the adjustment of this program, especially the 3 weeks, which is of the summary of the CVs. Summary of the CVs can take 2 weeks. Then you also go for the 10th to the 21st of May, the 2 weeks. You then make it 1 week for the vetting of the applicants. Then it will then assist us to adjust our program so that it then fit to the time before the constituency work. So, Chair, I think I wanted to add those few issues, but however, I then want also to propose that we then today adopt the program of the process, so that it then help us to so that we then in the next Lantika meeting of this subcommittee, we only then add those Lantika adjustments to the program. But I would then propose that we then adopt it with all the adjustment, if we are agreeing as especially as honorable members, that at least it must then accommodate the report being tabled to Parliament before the constituency work, Chair. Thank you very much.
Okay. Yeah, 100% correct, Honorable Mkweba. I agree with you. I think before I even forget, honorable members, I will want to appeal to honorable members that I think in some of the meetings we'll have to go to Cape Town so that we are in one room, especially for those meetings that we know that are critical in this process, including the days of the interviews. I think we should be in Cape Town. We want to ask members that please, maybe we need to consider that we are not going to book another venue outside Parliament, but I think we need to work with the office of the House chairpersons so that we see which dates we are going to be physically in Cape Town, so that we can be able to deal with the issues that needs us to have a closed meeting. Thank you very much, Honorable Weber. May you please lower your hand, and I now call Honorable Baha. Honorable Weber, may you please lower your hand. Thank you very much. Honorable Baha.
Thank you, Chairperson. I hope I'm audible enough. There's quite a lot of challenges these days. Good afternoon, Chair, and all the members and our support staff. Chairperson, I think that for me, I think that we should work on the start and the closing date of the whole process and fit in everything else in the middle, because we don't have the luxury of time like we had before. We have to work on this thing and finalize it as soon as we can. But having said that, Chairperson, there were issues that were not of debate. I don't think that there were issues about the advert, for instance, that it did not cover this and that and that. So for me, I think that those are quick wins. It's things that we can quickly put together and so on, because then that will help us in ensuring that by the time Parliament takes a break, this thing would be resolved. So in trying to work on the time, let's just have this as an opening of this debate or discussion, and the date where we say this must be concluded by this time, and then work everything else in the middle to try and work that out. In terms of getting applications, we might get more, we might get less. That we cannot, be sure as to whether it will be more or less until we do get them. But let's just put time aside to make sure that this is done and dealt with as soon as we can, because we are redoing a process, which is not necessarily what Parliament is all about. Parliament is about doing this and conclude it, and we move on to other things that require our attention. So I'm just appealing, Chairperson, that in agreeing with you, that let's see what we can achieve sooner, the quick wins, and see what would need more time, but knowing that by the time we go for recess, come June, we would have dealt with this thing. It will be done or in front of the President to make his consideration. Thank you, Chairperson, but I support the process.
Thank you very much, Honorable Bacha. Thank you. Thank you. Honorable Bacha, may you please lower your hand? Yeah, because if we're in Cape, all of us were in Cape Town, it will make our life easy, and then the times you can play around with time, so that. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, Chair.
Yes, Chair.
Oh, okay.
Master, can you put on?
Okay. So I think we're agreeing. Let me hear the two members. Honorable Mpiti
Maluleke.
uyethiseleni isandla manje.
Angazi siphumile. Hayi lelo kanjani.
Honorable Mpiti, Honorable Maluleke, Honorable Sonti, and then the chairperson will be the last. Honorable Mpiti.
Thank you very much, Chair. Good afternoon to everybody. Chair, my question is in relation with the program. I have not seen anything about the discussion on the terms of reference. So if that can maybe be clarified as to where it appears on the program, because I do think it needs to be on the program as its own section. Thank you.
Okay, let me clarify you with the terms of reference. I think we clarified today, myself and the manager of the committees, that remember the other thing that we spoke about yesterday was that in the terms of reference, we wanted to know how do we start the whole process, whether we're starting from advert or whether we're starting from looking at those CVs that we received. Do you remember, Mos? So, but with that one, we were corrected that no, the decision of the meeting was to say start from the scratch. So start from the scratch, it means we are starting from advertising again. But with the other issues that we wanted the speaker to clarify us, then today with I think Nomvula, we are done with that letter, ne? So it's few things that we have captured that the speaker must also guide us on those ones. And as soon as we get that response from the speaker, we'll be discussing them in any of the meetings that is here, because the advert it doesn't need a terms of reference. The advert is clear. It's according to the Act of the NYDA, and it's according to the Constitution of the country. So that one, it's not a train smash. But those things that were raised, of which maybe the speaker will be the speaker and the house, the chairperson of NCOP will be the one, and our house chairpersons, they will guide us on those ones. So we'll have that in one of the meetings. We may not write terms of reference, but in the agenda, you will see we'll bring them in the meeting and say, here is the guidance that we got with terms of reference on what is it that needs to happen. So it will be accommodated in one of the dates that are here. Honorable Mpipti, I wanted to respond to that one, except if maybe there are other things that you wanted to ask. Honorable Mpipti?
Chair, thank you so much. I'm covered. So essentially what you're saying is that we are not going to be putting it specifically on a specific date. It will appear, or it will be in conjoinment with one of the items that appear right now on the agenda.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. And then Honorable Maluleke.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Chairperson. Some of the questions that I wanted to raise have been covered, especially on the issue of us adopting the agenda the program today, because we need just to adopt the program, citing that with amendments, even though the amendments, we are still going to get it next week, but next week we'll get the program that we have amended today, but we must adopt the program today. Chairperson, my question was just on the issue of the timeline, especially from legal department. Can they clarify us how long is it suitable for advert to be in public? Because if we can say maybe an advert can take 5 days, is it proper, or does advert have a timeline so that we don't find ourselves again having breached some of the legal requirements? Thank you, Chair. I'm not sure whether I'm understanding.
Your question is clear.
Okay.
For the benefit of the public, let's hear Babu, Dr. Tembe or Babu Njikela, if he's here.
Thanks, Honorable Chair, co-chairs, and honorable members. Although there is
Sorry, Chair.
No, we are next.
All right.
May I proceed, Chair?
Yes.
Am I audible enough?
Yes.
Okay. Although there is no written rule or what we can say, it's a principle, but practice has been that any advert which goes out of Parliament gives the public a reasonable time. So reasonable time has not been less than 2 weeks. So normally advert will go out, it will be at least 2 weeks or more. So a reasonable time is not less than 2 weeks, because people should not actually be complaining about insufficient time to take notice. So 2 or more weeks, it's up to the committee to decide how long does it want to fly the advert, but it shouldn't be less than 2 weeks. That is how far the practice has been in Parliament for quite of immeasurable time, as far as I know. Thanks, Honorable Chair.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Tembe. I hope Honorable Maluleke is covered.
Yes, Chairperson, I'm covered. It's only that maybe we need to rework on the days that we have on the preparation of advert. I'm not sure whether when we say preparation of advert, we are including when the advert has gone out,
Yes.
then, oh, okay. Okay, we can just work around on that one so that we
Let
have.
Let me close this and look at. Oh, they wrote 3 weeks.
Yes, yeah.
No, they are right. Yeah.
Oh, no, they are right.
Where they are saying preparation of advert, it's when we are writing e-advert and we are getting quotations from print media so that we can get the approval from a finance department or a supply chain. Which newspapers are we going to use?
No, I'm covered, Chairperson. I just checked on the 10th day, the 10 days. I didn't see the 3 weeks below. But if there is 3 weeks, then I'm covered. Thank you, Chair.
Yeah. Yeah, but if time permits, here we can play around with this time. For as long as let's continue. Honorable Mamsonti.
Thank you, Chairperson. I think it's my suggestion, Chair. Ngicabanga ukuthi le 3 weeks for this summary of service is right, Chair. Because on my understanding, Speaker on her advices, she said the applications must be more.
So I must be given enough time, as many as they.
Yeah, so that 3 weeks, I think it's right for this service, for that summary. And then number 2 is a depender. Kwezo CVs okokuba zingakanani na.
It will depend how many CVs do we get.
Because what I'm worried of is this rush. Because even this mess eyenzekile before, maybe ibi-rush. So fanele sizithathe izinto ngendlela yakhona.
So we need to do things the right way.
Okokugqibela ke Chairperson, ndivumelana nawe.
Firstly, I agree with you, Chairperson.
Zonke lezi procedures
that all these procedures must be happening in Cape Town.
Zingenzelwa outside, so zibe khona pha eParliament until ibe iyavalwa this process.
Until we close this process. Lastly, I do agree.
Oko besivumelene kwayizolo ukuthi everything must be started fresh. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you very much, Mamsonti. There was no mess, Mamsonti.
Okay.
Honorable Chair, I think you are the last. If there's no other member that I've jumped.
Chairperson, thank you very much. I want to agree that we must adopt this program today, starting from Wednesday, the 10th of February, up until the 20th of May. Because the reason why I'm saying this, Chairperson, there's 2 closed meetings that can move into 1 closed meeting. And then, which means the date of the closed meeting of the 12th of May, we can move the interviews up, starting from the 12th of May to the 15th. And then the deliberations and the discussions after that, and then try to finish by the 20th of May. If the staff is going to deal with it now, if there is another date, they can come up with a proposal. Secondly, Chairperson, I think we must agree also in this meeting that we finished just before the end of last year. We were also part of the interviews on the Central Drug Authority Board with the Portfolio Committee on Social Development. And we agreed that all our interviews we will do in Parliament. And I think we must agree also in this meeting today that all members do have houses in Cape Town, and that we will do all our interviews and closed meetings in Parliament. It was very safe because, sorry, we were doing it like, what is the name of that building? They're on top. But it was very safe, and it is a very big building. So even me, who was very much afraid with comorbidities, I felt safe when we did that interviews at Parliament. Then lastly, Chairperson, we must prevent what happened last when we were doing these interviews. I want to agree with you that we had our meetings clashed, and like Member Chabalang was also trying to bring to the fore, is that we are also busy with Section 100, and myself, Chabalang, and Maleka is in different Section 100 committee meetings. So if we can just make sure, Marcel, that our dates don't clash, and also if the chairpersons, the House chairpersons, is agreeing to this program, after this program was adopted by this committee, that we must stick with this program. And then another one, Chairperson, is the punctuality. When we must start with meetings, we must start with meetings. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chair. Thank you very much, Chairperson. I think we are going to make our house rules when we start in our first meeting, especially on the things that Honorable Nchabeling have raised. If a member is absent, it's up to yourself that you must ask other members on what were the resolution of the previous meeting. We are not going to rehearse like the previous time when we had to take members through and so on. We're not going to do that. So every member that is here has a responsibility of being responsible, of ensuring that you attend meetings. We are not going to entertain any member who will want to take us back on issues that we have passed. So honorable members, hopefully we are going to work together as a team. And if a member will be taking us for a ride, unfortunately, it will be rough because, you know, we must guard against a situation whereby we make our people not to even trust us ourselves, and people question the work that we are doing unnecessarily. And when we disagree, honorable members, we must disagree in a very respectful way and with respect to one another, because all of us, we are calling ourselves honorable members. So if we are calling ourselves honorable members, we must do an honorable thing, that we behave as such. But if we don't, it will be just unfortunate. So honorable members, I think for now, can we get a mover for the adoption of the report? We are agreeing that we are going to adjust our program as and when there's a need, because also even times, Honorable Chabeling has said it mouthfully, and the chair have said it, that they are part of the section 100 in the committee for the Northwest. So what is going to happen is that Marcel and Nelly, so before you set up time for the meetings, you must check when are those section 100 meetings sitting. It's your role. We don't want to fight with you. So make sure that all those things are taken care of. If members need transport, because some of the meetings, if we are finishing late at night, you'll have to arrange a transport for members so that they can go home safe. Members must not be, we are tired, we are finishing late, and members are still standing outside asking you, where is transport, where is what, where is what? So I think this time we are going to work professionally as much as we can. And can we now get a mover for the adoption of the report? Because honorable members, the majority view is agreeing, but remember, for procedural purposes, we need to get a mover for the adoption of the report. But also, you must open your cameras, honorable members. You know, yesterday some people were raising some concerns that you know, it was looking very clumsy, that we're in a meeting and almost all of you, your cameras were off, and they were, and I think also for 08, in some instances they were just seeing hearing voices but not seeing people. So I think it's important, and even that professional secrecy and confidentiality of information, honorable members must behave honorable. Because last time, even we were sitting in a meeting, and some of you are communicating with people outside, and you are giving even wrong information. We are sitting in a meeting, we are busy discussing, and some of you are communicating with people from outside, giving them information, which led some of the people thinking that there were shenanigans that were happening in our committee, whereas there was nothing like that. So, honorable members, if a member does not understand on what is it that we are saying, please don't be afraid to ask. We'll give you an opportunity to ask, because we are all honorable members here. So no one will be deprived an opportunity to speak. Unfortunately, I don't believe in that, of depriving members their opportunity to speak. And the chair of the NCOP also, Honorable Gideon, does not believe in that. So we are very, very, very generous, honorable members. So anything that you don't understand, please ask in the meeting so that we give you the correct perspective on why this decision, so that you don't go and misquote and misrepresent facts, which led some people thinking that there was a shenanigans that were happening in the subcommittee. So I think, honorable members, even those, thank you very much, Mam Sonti, for being present on behalf of Honorable Ntlangwini. So any member?
Honorable Hlonyane, Chair.
Hlonyane, Honorable Hlonyane. I think any member that knows that you won't be part of the meeting, please send your alternate. If we are going to discuss delegate things, we'll tell you that no, we don't need an alternate. We need the honorable member in the meeting. So that's professionalism. We are going to work professionally, honorable members. We don't want our integrity to be questionable. We don't want to bring the integrity of the institution into disrepute. So we are going to work together as a team, and we must make sure all of us that NYDA has a board by the 1st of June. NYDA must have a board. Can I get a mover? Chairperson, can you take over this one so that we can get a mover for the adoption of the report?
Thank you, Chairperson. Can we get the mover and the seconder for the adoption of the program that will be adjusted and sent to all members of the Joint Subcommittee on the filling of vacancies in the National Youth Development Agency? Thank you. I see hands. Is this old hands?
No, it's not an old hand, Chairperson.
Okay, you can continue, member.
Yes, it's Honorable Maluleke.
Yes.
Chairperson, I move that we adopt this program with amendments. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Is there a seconder for the proposal?
I see Mam Sonte's hand.
Mam Sonte.
Yes, I'm seconded, Chairperson.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Chairperson, over to you for the closure of the meeting.
I see Honorable Chabeling's hands is up. Datin Chabeling.
Sorry, Chair, it was for the adoption. Sorry.
Oh, no. Okay,
the hand is lower. Sorry about that.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much. I think the other thing that before I forget, Chair, you remember, Chair, in terms of the oversight model for Parliament that was presented to us as chairpersons, and Honorable Nchabeling also is the chairperson of another committee and another committee in the NCOP. You know that we are
five committees.
Yeah, 5.
We've got 5, 6, and 7.
All of you then.
Yeah.
You must know that this year, when you look at your committee programs, you must know that we've got another task of championing issues of gender-based violence, because they fall under us.
Yeah.
So those that our department is responsible for, we must make sure that I think what will help us also, maybe when we set up dates for those meetings, maybe let's have a joint meeting so that we can reduce many meetings. I think it can work for us.
Yes.
What do you think, Mr. Chabeling, if you can do that, have a joint meeting so that you know you are done? They are not going to come to us and then you'll have to set up another date for yourselves. So when those meetings are sitting, we need to make sure that we convene a joint committee meeting. They will be coordinated by the House Chairperson. We must make sure that the NSP is implemented and people, they come to Parliament and account. But also, I think I nearly said something, and now I remember that is not relevant for this meeting. We'll talk about it out of this meeting. But thank you very much, honorable members, for your attendance. And Nelisa will tell us what time are we meeting next week, after Marcelo and Nelisa have consulted each other. But Onomvula, remember, you need to request more manpower from Parliament to deal with those CVs, you know. And I want to appeal to our staff members that they must not get sick. I'll pray very hard to God that God must protect you until we finish this process, because you know you can't afford to have you being sick here. Like last time, it was hectic for us. It was very difficult for us as members. So, Nomvula, may you please also, I think we'll share also with the House Chairpersons, Honorable Gillian, that we will have to get more staff members that are going to work with our staff members in this project, because receiving those CVs and summarizing them, it's a hell of a job. It's not as easy as people think, because they need to go through each and every CVs. So, Nombula, I think we'll take up to our House chairpersons, myself and the chair, that you are being supported. Thank you, Babu Pacha, for being present, and compliments. It's late, so go February. Yeah, but thank you very much, honorable members, for your presence. And I think we have come to the end of our meeting.
Thank you, Chairperson. Can I ask all the support staff to remain behind, please, Chair?
Yes, I've already asked them to remain behind on your behalf.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
All right. Bye.
Bye, bye, Babu Pacha.
Marcel?
Yes, Nombula.
While we are waiting for the members to leave the meeting, can you please, in the meantime, just share the program, please?
Sure.
Neliswa, is everybody, are all members out of the meeting?
Let me check. Just give me a minute. I'll check.
All right.
Lisa, Nombula.
Ms. Giba? Ms. Giba?
Yes, I'm listening.
In case you don't see me in the meeting, we have a problem of load shedding here. It might start at 3 o'clock, but for now, the electricity is still on.
Okay. No,
Yeah.
it's fine. It's okay. Thanks for informing me.
All
Okay,
right.
thanks, colleagues. Let me greet you all. I think it's the first time that I meet with you this year, and I want to compliment you for 2021. I wish I could see your faces, but I will ask for that right at the end of our meeting. I just wanted to make sure that we are capturing you are welcome to this meeting again. We are capturing all the resolutions of this meeting on this particular program. And I also wish to inform you that I was planning that once the program has been adopted, we are going to have our own support team meeting where we are going to allocate some responsibilities so that each and every colleague at least understands and knows what is expected of him or her. So just as well, this preliminary meeting is taking place, I still feel that we will have our own meeting for that purpose. I just wanted us to meet so that we can immediately fill in. I don't know if Marcel is able to type out already as we speak the additional meeting after the 15 to the 27, type it out, put it in, as well as the taking out the second closed meeting and including it in the first closed meeting so that at least we have one closed meeting. And also we can see where we can adjust our program so that it can fit as per their request of finishing by the 20th or 21st of May, so that this whole process is finished before the June constituency. So Marcel, I don't know if anyone open your calendar so that we can see where we can adjust in order for us to get to the dates of the 20th of the 21st. If not, we ask Marcel and Neliswa to see where the adjustments can be done, at least, so that the program gets to that point. I did not want the members to touch the summary of CVs because I am anticipating even more interest in the next process. So that is why I thought the 3 weeks that they were asking us to reduce, let us rather leave it at that. And unfortunately, it's very difficult to ask for additional hands for what we have. We will have to deal with what we have. I feel from my side, we have sufficient support for these 2 committees to deal with. The only thing that is outstanding is allocate roles for each and every one. That should not be difficult, because we are talking about 4 researchers, we are talking about 2 content advisors, we are talking about 2 committee secretaries, we are talking about 2 committee assistants, we are talking about legal assistants, Siviwe and Jigela and Herman, or on the other side, we are talking about support in terms of monitoring this time around by the NA table, the House Chair, and the Office of the Speaker. So from a managerial point of view, I think we can make do with what we have, but it will depend on how we allocate and divide the work amongst ourselves. So I didn't want to get into the details of that, because I want us to have a separate meeting of role clarification or role allocation for each and every colleague, so that we know exactly what is expected of each one of us. So I don't know if there's anyone who's got something to say in terms of us having to correct this program now, or do we ask the 2 secretaries to rather revise it and get it to a point where the program ends on between the 20th and the 21st of May.
Hi, Nomvula. I just wanted to mention that Tabile has her hand raised.
Tabila, you can come in.
Good afternoon, colleagues. Thank you. Just 2 points from me. I'm a bit concerned about the closed meeting that is scheduled.
So, sorry, we are breaking, Tabila. From my side, I cannot.
I'm a bit concerned about the proposal of moving the closed meeting of 11th of May to the 4th of May. The reason being is that the 11th of May closed meeting is to discuss the interview question. And I don't think we can discuss interview questions way before the actual interview. So I think that closed meeting has to happen very close to the interviews themselves. So that's the one point. So if we are going to take away one of the meetings between the 4th and the 7th of May, perhaps then those 2 should be combined, because I'm not sure what happened last time at the closed meeting, which was for the consideration of the shortlist criteria. But perhaps that shortlist discussion can happen before the shortlisting itself. But then I'll obviously be guided by those who have knowledge and experience in terms of what happens at that type of meeting. And then the other thing is with regards to support, particularly in relation to the summary of CVs. We all know what happened previously. And if the anticipation is that there's going to be more interest in this process, but obviously we'll be guided by what happens when the deadline for applying ends. But basically, I support what members were suggesting, that we try and get assistance in that regard, because we know even with the CVs that we had previously, it took a lot of time to summarize, based on the fact that people submit CVs different types of CVs. So to try and synthesize the CVs and have them in a specific structure takes a lot of time. And this is taking into account that there are only 3 researchers, not 4 researchers. And out of the existing staff personnel, the NCOP committees, we know they deal with more than one sector, which basically means that as much as we will be here full-time, we'll be full-time in involved in other work that is related to our sector. Thank you.
Is there anyone who have an input into the meeting?
Hi, Nubula.
Yes.
It's Crystal.
Oh, okay. I can't hear you.
Are you able to hear me now?
Yes, that's better now.
Okay. What Abili has said, I think the concern for me is also that we will be needing more resources. As she has also said, that as much as we'll be involved here, we also have other committee work, and also especially like from the research unit side as well, we service other sections of Parliament as well. So this won't be the only thing that we'll be focusing on. And then I think it's also, like you said, there's going to be another meeting. I think there also needs to be a formal meeting also with our managers in terms of discussing what this process will entail.
I think we have lost you, Crystal. Crystal? Crystal, are you still there? She's gone now.
And
sorry,
what kind of support?
We have lost you for quite some time, Crystal. You disappeared for quite some time, so I'm not sure. We last heard when you said we need also a session with your managers, and after that. Okay, Crystal, I think I will give you another opportunity. Is there any other input?
Hi, Nombula, it's Tasneem.
Yes,
Tasneem. I think Crystal's been kicked out of the meeting.
Yeah, I can see.
Yeah, I think maybe, yeah, just from my side, maybe like, but you've already said that at the beginning of this meeting that we'll probably, this is just an informal preliminary meeting.
Yeah.
And we will have another formal meeting. So I think we can discuss those things going forward.
Yeah.
But just to support what Tabili and Crystal had said, I hear what you're saying in terms of the resources we have available, but just because we are possibly anticipating even more CVs this time around, just to preempt that, if we line up other resources as we plan going forward, it was, I mean, the last time around, I think and everybody who was on the team knows how overwhelming it became, especially closer to the end. And it's also all dependent on that things are all uploaded on time, that all the CVs are received on time. We waited on some things that were posted. There were lots of other factors to consider. So I worry that the 3 weeks, do we even start on the, for example, is the 6th of April the day that we start? And we still expected to finish by the 24th, but we might not even have 3 weeks based on other things that may impact on the start date of summaries. So that's just the things that we need to consider. So if we do have a backup of resources, even if we have a shorter time, we have a bigger group of people working on it, we still can meet our deadlines. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Nombula, I'm back now. Sorry, I lost connection. I don't know whether you can hear me now.
So very loud and clear. You can proceed.
Okay, thank you. No, I don't know if maybe Tasneem has covered what I was saying, because I heard her saying that she also agrees with us needing more resources. I think I was just saying also that there needs to be a meeting also then with our management at some point, just to also discuss with them in terms of the kind of support that will be required from us and the time periods and etc. Because, like I said, our work goes not just in this committee and our own portfolio committees, and as Tabili also said, that they also cover other sectors. But from the research unit side, we also provide support to other parts of Parliament. So, like with CSW and those kinds of things, we also have to do papers and things for that. And I think then another thing that I wanted to ask also was, are all of us needed to attend like all of these meetings? I'm not saying I don't want to be a part of it. I'm saying with things around like preparation of the advert or those kinds of meetings, from my side, there's nothing that I can add in that process. So I just think maybe there's also a discussion that we need to have around who do we all need to attend every meeting. I don't know. That's something that I need to be advised on. But I just think that there needs to be, like I said, the more resources and discussion with our managers, I think is important for me. Thank you.
Sorry, Nombula, if I can just jump in here, perhaps.
Yes, come in, Marcel.
Yeah, maybe just to clarify, Crystal, the meetings that are highlighted in the light blue, those are the meetings that the committee will have. The other functions that I've set on the program is just a guideline in terms of time frames of what will be happening in the background. So the meetings that we are all supposed to be part of are the ones highlighted in light blue.
Okay, thanks, Marcel.
Okay, thank you. Is there anybody else before I respond?
Afternoon, Nombula and colleagues.
Come in. All right.
Just to concur with what everybody has said, I think everyone's right in terms of the need for more resources and also about role clarification. And maybe on that is to look at the role of HR. I know HR with other appointment processes for other committees, they've been involved as additional resource. So I'm not sure in this process, besides looking at the qualifications and screening, how else HR is able to assist, even right from the beginning in terms of CVs, given that the number of CVs, like you suggested, could probably be more than 700 given the interest. So I don't know whether that's also an option to explore in terms of support, how HR could assist us in that regard. But like you said, there's still going to be another meeting for role clarification in terms of who needs to do what. Thank you.
Thank you very much, colleagues. I take it that Kashifa, you were the last one in terms of input into what I just put on the table. Colleagues, how I wish that we had thousands of hands so that we really eliminate the load for each and every one of us. But, you know, looking at the situation like that one of us working at home, it's making our lives even more difficult. Working at home is creating even more challenges for us as managers. It's not the same as getting to the office, identifying the resource, and getting the people right there, or to be able to assist. How I wish I had some people or ideas as to who can we approach. I will try, of course, as part of my management of this whole process, I will try to get some people, but I would never want to raise your hopes in terms of whether you are going to get the additional support or not. But for now, I would like to caution to say, can we please first brace ourselves for the work ahead of us? While I will be looking for additional support from other units. Yes, you are right. The meeting that we are going to have to hold will include your managers this time around. We are not going to assume that your managers know, because we have been meeting with you last time. I know, so an improvement to that. Let's meet with your managers. Let's share with your managers the dates. Let's share with your managers the time frames so that your managers in their monitoring of your work understands what is on your table at a particular time. Of course, you will not be involved from February 10th to 31st of March, just for argument's sake. The time that you will be required will be from the 6th of April, just for an example. So that your managers in their allocation of their of jobs in your respective areas are able to at least be flexible in terms of giving you other programs while you are in this program. So from my side, I will try my level best to get the buy-in of your managers, to inform them that this is the work at hand and they need to be flexible from their side in terms of allowing you space, because that is what we need to do as managers. We need to allow you space so that you are able to take forward and also, implement whatever project that is given to you at a particular time to the best of your ability. So I agree with you. It's a lot of work, and I want to say that we had our mistakes in the last project in terms of delays in submission of these CVs, delays in copying of these CVs. There were even delays in you getting proper CVs in order for you to do the summaries. So that was also one of the reasons why you found you were constantly asking for extensions of time, because we could not give you your CVs on time. Now, if this time around we are making sure that you get the CVs before the actual time, which is before the 6th of April, for argument's sake. I mean, if the deadline say is the 31st of March, that's just for an example, we give you the CVs maybe just the second day after that. So that should make a difference, according to me. So the delays of the previous session, of the previous project, should really not be a determining factor of us needing more hands. Can we try by all means this time around to do things the right way? I would like us to, I wanted to say this as my opening statement in our next meeting, to say that we have made mistakes in the previous one, big ones that delayed other people in doing their own work. But this time around, we're gonna have to ask each and everyone to do your part to the best of your ability, so that people who are responsible for summaries are not delayed because you have not done your work, you have not submitted the CVs to them, or the CVs were not uploaded on time, or double CVs were uploaded, so that it makes it difficult for the researchers or whoever is doing a summary to do their work. So that is why I say, once we do that, once we clarify those roles, and we have our meeting, I'm sure we will be, we will not be anxious the way we were in the previous session. So if only we can, all of us, just have the same attitude as members have, to say that this time around, whatever went wrong in the first one, we want to correct it administratively. If there were any mistakes that were done in the first project, can we try by all means to say that those mistakes, we are going to correct them? And I'm glad that people are mentioning that this is what happened, this is what happened. The next question I will ask, what do you think, what is the best way to get out of this? And I'm also glad that there is an HR element. I've never involved HR with our processes of CVs, handling our CVs. That I've never done. So the HR was only involved at the point of quality verification and anything else. But if there are ideas from some of you, or you have seen it from other committees, they've done more than verifying CVs, I would welcome that. And I want to get HR on board so that we have sufficient support, as the chairperson has also asked. I will try to get the additional support, but let us not, please, not raise our hopes with the additional support, but I want us to be of the same mind this time around. I want us to work together. If you have a query or a question to ask, let's work together. Ask the question, let's work out how we are going to get out of a specific challenge. But I am not expecting or anticipating any challenges. Because remember, I said it in many of our meetings last. I said, I almost got into the project in the middle or maybe at the tail end of the submission of CVs. That should not have been. That should not have happened. I should have been in the right from the start. Yes, because I also had other work that I needed to do. So I left the project behind without knowing that the number of CVs that we are going to get is so humongous. I did not anticipate that one. But now that I know, and now that everybody knows now how this process can be, can I just ask for indulgence, for your indulgence? I will try to get the support that you are asking for. I will try to get HR to see how far they get involved in filling of vacancies. And I will also try to get your managers in our meetings. In fact, I would like your managers, I would like the secretaries to invite your managers in each and every support staff meeting to avoid what has happened previously. So I think that is the best idea and the best way we can, so that in that way, each and every manager will know what is on your desk, so that you are not really pressed with a load of work on your shoulders while there is NYDA that need to be done. I'm also glad that the chairpersons are now saying, let us put this program together so that we finish on before constituency in June. So this was our idea of at least giving everybody some time so that you can do your work at your own time, at your own pace. But when something like this of politicians are saying, this is now the time that you need to finish, unfortunately, there's nothing we can do. But what we can do is just to brace ourselves and try by all means to do what we can under the circumstances. I'm hoping that your managers will also agree and also be supportive of this whole project now that they will be taken on board from the start. So at this point then, colleagues, can we ask, if there are no further questions from what I have responded to, we ask the secretaries to then revise this program as per the committee's resolution, and circulate it to all of us, as we are all the support staff, so that if there are any items that they might have missed, so that we can suggest, and then we take the revised program and send it to the two chairpersons. So that draft program will then be tabled again in that meeting as they proposed. So 15, 16, 17, 18, up to the 27, any date in between that, for as long as it will not affect the work of the NCOP, the work of the National Assembly, all the Section 100 interventions. So I'm hoping that all those factors will be taken into consideration once the NYDA program is submitted for the second time before the committee. Can you come in, Marcel and Neliswa?
Hi, thanks, Nombela. Now I'm listening to you. I'm busy discussing with Tabile actually on WhatsApp. So I will try to synthesize those dates according to what was mentioned. I was just wondering now, like Tabile had raised the question of discussion on the interview questions. Usually we don't necessarily want to do that meeting very far from the interview dates. So I was just trying to ascertain now, are we keeping that date? And then the first closed meeting of the 4th, is that now going to be combined with the shortlisting of candidates as an open meeting?
Can I just check the meeting of I'm just checking the program now. The meeting of the 4th of May, criteria for shortlisting, that will be the first closed meeting. And then the next one will be discussing the criteria, and then we're doing the shortlisting. Utabile was suggesting what? that we're doing the interview questions closer to the time.
Of the interviews, yes.
Can I come in there?
Interview, if you,
come in.
the idea is,
yeah.
Okay,
so,
sure.
So what? Sorry, myself. So what I was suggesting is that, what I was asking actually, if it's not possible to have a discussion around the criteria for shortlisting, because the criteria for shortlisting, as far as I understand, would be in line with what was advertised, isn't it? So it wouldn't be necessarily a lot of new information that is being discussed at that meeting. So is it then not possible to have that discussion or that meeting just prior to the actual shortlisting of candidates? So for instance, if the shortlisting of candidates is going to start at 12 o'clock on the 4th of May, for example, at 9 a.m. that morning, that discussion takes place. Because what I don't want us to do is to combine the discussion on shortlisting with the discussion on the interview questions. The discussion on the interview questions has to happen just before the interview.
Yes, that's true. So what you are suggesting is that at least the meeting of the 4th of May and the meeting of the 7th of May can be combined.
Yes, that's what I'm suggesting.
Yes, that's the suggestion. Yes, you know what? You are raising a very important proposal here. Yes, the criteria will not be different because your criteria will speak to what is in the advert, and the advert is speaking to what is in the NYDA Act and also what is in the Constitution as well. So it's very tricky then, Tabile Apa. I'm not sure if you want that, because once we say shortlisting of candidates, because the meeting of shortlisting of candidates is an open meeting, whereas the criteria discussion is a closed meeting, because members feel that they would touch on some, I don't know, some aspects of what kind of candidate they will be looking for, and all those kind of things. But and sometimes they do add. They're not only focusing on what the advert was saying. For instance, in the last one, they did add continuity as a criteria that was suggested, and all the other criteria except for what is in there, to make so that candidates have an additional advantage, so as not to cut them, but so that candidates have an additional advantage of being shortlisted. So that is the main idea. So how are you going to bring a balance between a meeting that is supposed to be taking place behind closed doors and this open meeting, because the shortlisting meeting should actually take place openly?
Yes, that's why I was suggesting that there be a split in terms of time. So for instance, the first meeting could happen earlier, a couple of hours earlier. So, for instance, it could be scheduled between, the discussion meeting could be scheduled between 9 o'clock and 11 o'clock, for instance. And then at 12 o'clock, the meeting of shortlisting commences. So that's one way of dealing with it. The other alternative I can think of is actually using a Monday. So Monday, members meet, have a closed meeting to discuss the shortlisting process. Then the Tuesday on the 4th of May, the shortlisting commences.
Oh, we don't want to touch Mondays, Nemasa. I do not think we want to touch the constituency days there.
I think we got away with it with the CDA board, if I'm not mistaken, Tabile, did we?
Yes, we did.
Monday,
we applied and we got away with it. Yeah, they allowed us.
Okay, can we do that then, Marcel? If so, we scratch the Friday, the 7th of May all together. Otherwise, I do not want to use Wednesdays because of reasons of members having to be involved in all other committees. So can we then suggest then Monday, the 3rd of May, Monday, the 3rd of May being the meeting, that closed meeting.
Yeah.
So, and then, let's do it.
May I
Let's
come
do
in,
both on the same day.
May I come in, Ms. Giba?
Come in.
Yes. I'm not against the proposal, but now I think we should also consider what the members said in the meeting, that we should also consider their availability. So what if, say, the Monday that is proposed, maybe some members will have other commitments. So
Okay.
I think we should also consider that, because I'm also of the opinion that we rather leave the 4th of May and the 7th of May as it is. Because remember, even in Joburg, when this thing took place last year, consideration of criteria for shortlisting, it sometimes take too long. So if, say, we are going to split the time and then we say we are going to start from 9 until 11, to me, that will be too short, and we know our members. So I'm suggesting that we leave the 4th and the 7th of May as it is. Thank you.
Okay, colleagues, what do you think? Yes, it's true that these meetings can sometimes run way beyond the scheduled times. So if we leave it at that and we are able to explain that this is the reason why we decided to leave it like that. I understand, Tabile, that we'll be able to explain the interview and the shortlisting cannot be at the same time, because the discussion of the interview should be closer to the times of the interviews. Unfortunately, shortlisting and interviewing are two different processes. One should happen before the other. So shortlisting of candidates will have to take place just before the discussion on interview questions. So the best under the circumstances. So it means my proposal of having one closed meeting will not necessarily work. It will not necessarily work on the basis of that. We still need the discussion on the interviews that day before, few days before the actual interviews. I am not sure where else then can we make adjustments on this program.
Sorry, Nomvula.
Yeah.
I was just thinking, depending on when we have our meeting next week, remember we're supposed to have our meeting next week to discuss the advert.
Yes.
Could we then not get a slot later in the afternoon, or however we schedule that meeting for that day, to consider the criteria as a close? We can do it as a closed meeting or as an open meeting, but I'm saying we do it the same day. But like Abile had said, we then separate the meetings.
Okay, where up there still in February? Where are you talking about?
Remember the chairperson said they wanted the date between the 15th and the 27th, which is next week, and the week after to discuss the advert.
Can you go up? Can you just go up?
It's not in here, remember, it's the date that you wanted for the advert discussion.
Yes, I want to see the program so that I know what we are talking about. So
Yeah,
between the 15th and the 27th,
yeah,
we need to identify a date for when members will be discussing the advert.
Yeah.
And agreeing on what needs to be put on the advert, that whether it's in line with any legal prescripts or whatsoever. So you are saying we can discuss the shortlisting criteria in that meeting.
Yeah, that's what I'm suggesting.
But then the shortlisting criteria should be in a closed meeting.
No, I understand it. That's what I'm saying. We can separate it, as the Tabile suggested. We can allocate maybe 2 hours to do the advert, and then later on we can do the closed meeting. It would be two separate meetings, but on the same day.
What difference will it make if we are cutting out one?
It's giving us an extra week. Remember, we are not trying to finish by the 20th of May.
Yes.
So it's giving us that time in terms of cutting out a week at least, because we can't really make adjustments for HR, because if we're finishing the shortlisting by the 7th and they have to start by the 10th, they can't do it before then. So the sooner we can do the criteria, the sooner we can have that in terms of doing the shortlisting.
Yes, I think it's a good proposal. What do you think, colleagues? I think in terms of them asking that we cut this program with a week, then I think it should work, because whenever it does not matter when you are discussing the shortlisting criteria, for as long as the shortlisting has not occurred yet. So whether you put it in February, whether you put it wherever, it will not really have any implications on the work of the committee, because that criteria would have been decided on, and then they can use it on the day of shortlisting. How is that? Come in, colleagues, quickly.
I also think it's a good suggestion. I think that could work, because then that would mean that the shortlisting itself will now occur on the 4th of May and not the 7th, right?
Yes, on the what are you saying? We are bringing.
I'm saying that if we go with that, then the shortlisting will move up. So it will be on the 4th of May. And then once the shortlisting is done, then the vetting process can occur.
Yes.
So it saves us a bit of time. But again, I want to raise the issue of the discussion on the interview questions. As is the issue of the interview questions, as is the discussion on the interview questions scheduled on the 11th of May. Yet the interviews are 7 days later. So that basically means that there will be a whole week.
No, we can't. We can't allow that. So, Marcel, I think I get your point, Tabile.
Nombula, I'm getting there. I'm just thinking. I'm thinking as you're talking. So it's fine. You can talk. I'm just thinking as I'm looking at the program, how we're going to shift it. But you guys can continue.
Okay, I see, Tabile. Continue, Tabile.
No, I'm actually done. So I'm saying we need to we can move up the consideration of the criteria for shortlisting, because in any case, as we said, there needs to be alignment with what is in the act as well as what is in the advert. So we can have that meeting maybe in the afternoon of that day. So then the shortlisting of candidates will move up, the vetting of applicants will move up. Now, what I'm saying is, in addition, we need to reconsider the date of the 11th of May. That needs to change, because we cannot discuss interview questions a week before the actual interviews.
Yes.
We need to discuss at the latest a day before.
Yes, let's give Marcel and Nediswa an opportunity. So you mean we must at least allow a day before the actual? I think a day before will suffice, Tabi.
Yeah, a day before, not more than a day. Yeah, not more than a day before to discuss the interview questions prior to the interviews. So that will also, I don't know in terms of dates now how that is going to affect the different programs. Nelly and Marcel can look at that. But if that week is possible for interviews, then that means the interviews will also move by week, which basically then resolves all our problems in terms of what Chairperson Daba was trying to request.
Yes, I think let's do that. I wish I could add a week on the summaries, but now they will even ask more questions if we add another week, because they wanted to reduce that to the 3 weeks already. But it's fine. So I hear you, Tabile, Marcel and Nediswa. Please then try to clean it up. Save this one, this original one that was tabled today. Try to clean this one up and put the dates up there. Now, before you circulate it, you must first check whether it does not affect any other committees plans or any other houses plans or houses programs, because members are saying once a program is adopted, they would want to stick with it so that it cannot be postponed for the questions of it. It affects one committee of another house. So do that. Once you have done that, you can circulate to all of us. We can have a look at it, and then we can send to the chairpersons, right? Lastly, then from my side, I think we all agree. Colleagues, the chairpersons wanted the letter to the speaker and the chairperson of the NCOP written as soon as possible. The contents of that letter should. Yes. Yeah. Come in, Nelly.
Nelly, so sorry to come in late.
Yes.
Say that. Yeah. I hear you saying that we need to meet also during that 15 to 27 in the afternoon. But also, I think we need to consider or take into consideration the sittings of both houses.
Exactly my point. My point is, whatever date that you are identifying between 15 and 27, that meeting that we agreed with the members that we are going to have, that meeting will be a discussion on the advert, as well as a closed meeting to discuss the criteria for shortlisting. So whatever date you are going to identify there should be a favorable one, that do not clash with houses, with sittings of the house, that do not clash with the NCOP programs and your committee program as well. So identify a date somewhere there, even if it's on a Friday, to understand, so that it does not really clash with any of the other committees. Then alternatively, we will really, if we ask a date that clashes with other, then we will be able to explain, to say that this was the only available date for the committee to do its work. But try your level best to choose time that will not clash with any activity of any committee or of any house there in that particular date. Are you clarified, Nelly?
Yes, I hear you, Nupula.
Yes. My last point is to ask you, the two of you, in our last meeting, in fact, yesterday's meeting, members were still asking about the letter that need to be prepared to the attention of the speaker and the chairperson of the NCOP. Not the chairperson of the NCOP, I think it's only the speaker, since the advice came from the speaker. That letter that need to inform the speaker about the outcome of the committee meeting of yesterday, as well as indicating to the speaker that if there is further advice that the speaker would like to bring to the attention of the committee, we will appreciate that advice comes while the committee is still in the process of filling these vacancies. So as to open up, so if whatever the speaker's advice or whatsoever, because they are keeping on talking about terms of reference, I tried to explain to the chairperson that this terms of reference thing is irrelevant in according to the meeting outcome of yesterday. Those terms of reference would only have been relevant if the committee resolved to add more names than the current names that were recommended. Say if the committee have agreed to add more names, then they would have asked the speaker, now give us a terms of reference. How do we proceed in doing that? But the committee chose not to go that route, but rather to restart. So to ask the speaker for a terms of reference for your own committee work will be a slap in your face, actually, because really the rules, they do allow committees to determine their own processes in terms of filling in vacancies or any other matter for that matter. So we have to prepare that letter for me so that I can quickly just have a look at it. I think Nelly's one. Let us prepare that letter for my attention quickly, then so that we can have a look at it, and we will bounce it with legal services and Herman, then so that we are done with it, because the chairperson is expecting that letter that will be in the names of both chairpersons tonight still. And I think from my side, I am done, colleagues, until such time that a notice will be sent to all after the final adoption of this meeting, where support staff meeting, including your managers, will be called. I'm done. Is the
Nombula, sorry, if I can just give a final word with regards to this program, Nombula, I'm sorry to cut you.
No, it's fine, I'm done.
Look,
Before that, Miss Kiba, hello.
Janja, can you give Marcel a chance? You will talk after that, please.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, I just wanted to say, look, the reason that we had allocated the 2 weeks for the vetting and the HR issue, we actually, with the CDA, we wrote to the speaker for them to expedite this this process, which they did for us. They wrote a letter to what is it? What are they called?
Of Intelligence.
Yeah, they did, and they did that for us. So that week we can work with, but again with the human resources department, they send those they send those qualifications off, or they call for those qualifications from independent companies. And when we did the CDA board, when we did that board, we didn't have them all come in as easily as they did, because a lot of these candidates studied overseas, and because of COVID, they couldn't reach those institutions. So I don't want to necessarily say we can have interviews from the 5th, from the 11th to the 13th of May, and we don't have these people vetted, or we don't have their qualifications, and then that's another knock. So I'm just putting it out there. I'm saying we can write to the speaker to fast track that part of it, but in terms of getting the HR people to do that, it's difficult for them even to reach these institutions to verify qualifications, that sort of thing. But I'm going to try to see what I can do. I will speak to you off this platform later on, Nombula, but that's all I wanted to add. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Marcel. I will give it to you, Njanja, just now. Yes, Njanja, you know what, Marcel? The sooner the members have shortlisted, the better for us, right? Seriously, if the members are done shortlisting from Friday, the 7th of May, the following week, HR can start. I think most of the delays are really coming from HR, but it's not of their own doing. As you are correctly saying that some of the qualifications need to be verified as far as over the seas. So it's really nothing we can do about it. Let's leave the 2 weeks as it is, and we will see as the time progresses as to the number of responses that we are receiving from HR, and advise accordingly. But let us put the interviews, let's put the interviews as we have just suggested. Then we will see as the time progresses whether it is doable or not doable. I mean, any program gets adjusted along the way. We cannot be staying with a rigid program because it will depend. So whatever will be adopted, I'm sure members will understand when it has to be revised because of the circumstances and the situation that we are finding ourselves in. So I think let's do that with that in mind as well. I understand your thing, do your thing, adjust it, get the program done by 21st May, right? Then we can circulate it to all of us for confirmation. Then after that, then we will confirm with you. Then we will share it with the 2 chairpersons before we table it in that meeting of 15 to 27 that you would have identified. Yeah? And Janja, can you come in?
Ms. Kiba, are we going to have another staff meeting after this one?
Yes, we are planning to have a meeting after the adoption of the revised program.
Oh,
yes.
Because I was going to ask whether how are we going to handle these CVs when we receive them to avoid what happened the last time, so that it makes things easy for us when we upload or we do whatever.
Yes, we are going to discuss all work related to this program that members would have adopted. All that we are going to discuss in that meeting of February. And in that meeting, colleagues, I want us to come prepared, come with challenges that we are going to do a short, what do you call it, a review. And the reason why I would want us to look at the shortest review that we have, so that we come up with a possible solution to whatever challenges that we experienced before. So challenges will not come from me. It will be a meeting that will be called by myself, but I would like to hear a lot from colleagues what went wrong, how can it be rectified? Whoever puts across what went wrong, can please assist us with a better solution, so that at least we are of the same level and of the same mind and of the same kind of an attitude in terms of moving forward with this project. A lot has gone wrong, and each and every one of us has got something to say. And I would like to encourage you to say it. Please, I'm already telling you that in that meeting, please jot down what went wrong. With that, for the sake of progress and moving forward, please also give us possible solutions that you think will make our load with this particular one easier, not heavier, right? And I also notice the Zukiswa is not here. Marcel, is there a specific reason why Zukiswa is not here?
No, Bola, no, I have no idea. I'm sorry.
No, yeah, but these are the kinds of things that we must make sure when we distribute notices, everybody gets the notice. We will have no time for people who are in this meeting and that meeting, because once roles or responsibilities are allocated, we need to all understand where it comes from. So now she will miss a lot of discussions of today, and we have to explain ourselves again and again. So you are really encouraged to come up, because we are not going to be able to treat the cause if we are not first starting from there. What went wrong? How can we rectify it? So the intention is we want to make the best out of this project. Right, colleagues? I think I'm done. Thank you very much for your time. We spent too much time now from the meeting of the committee until Marcel and Nelly Swaden give us the notice of the next meeting, and we are also expecting then the revised program to all of us. I mean, all the support staff as we are in the meeting, Marcel and Nelly. Thank you very much, colleagues.
Thank you.
Thank you, colleagues. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.